Bachapati. Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to Suvi classes. My name is Pragati Shukla, and today we are starting with fifth session of science of seventh class. And in this session, we will cover two topics. And before this, we have covered four sessions, and in this session, we will covering the two topics. The two topics is soil and the respiration in animals. So these two topics are very interesting. So just join quickly the class and be focused, be dedicated. So first of all, we will start with soil. So what do you mean by soil? Have you ever visited the gardens, your village, in the farms? What do you see in the farms? The crops are grown, and everywhere you will see the crops and crops. And crops are grown in what? In the soils. And you might have visited the trees, roadside trees. It's at the side of the road. Many trees are grown there. How these trees are able to grow? Because there is a soil in the roadside. In the gardens, in the parks, there are soils. So today's chapter is soil, and we'll discuss this chapter. So here you can see that this is a we will discuss the soil. You can see the soil. So what do you mean by soil? Soil, the uppermost layer of the earth, is known as soil. What is the soil actually? Where the soil found? The soil is uppermost layer. What is uppermost layer? Uppermost layer of earth. So first of all, tell me, where do we live on earth? We live on the earth crust, right? And the earth crust layer, the uppermost layer, is known as soil. This layer consists of sand, mud, rocks, particles. So the uppermost layer is not only covered with the soil, along with the soil, what other particles are there? That is sand, mud, and rock particles. Rock particles means that very larger particles like this. Okay. So you might have seen on the playground, the along with the soil, there's a sand, clay, mud, and very big stones, rock particles. So we will discuss that the uppermost layer of the earth crust is soil, and this layer also consists of sand, mud, rock particles. Okay. Now this much is clear. Now what is humus? Humus consists of dead and decayed plants and animals remains called humus. Humus is the uppermost layer of the soil. Soil is again divided in many layers. So uppermost layer of the soil, the uppermost layer of the earth crust is soil, and the uppermost layer of the soil is known as humus. In humus, what materials found? The dead and decayed materials of plants and animals. Okay, and other particles, your stones and other particles. And this layer is very much fertile. Why fertile? Because in this area, in this region, the dead and decayed plants and animals are there, which later and later on, after decaying, it will make soil very much fertile. So we have discussed the 2 points, that is soil, and the uppermost layer of the soil is humus. Okay, let's move to the next slide. We will discuss we are discussing about the humus. So the humus is the uppermost layer, and in this layer, the dead and decaying matter of the plants and animal are there, and that is why it is very much fertile. This layer also soft and can hold water. Water holding capacity. Water holding capacity is very high. water holding capacity is very high in this region. And if water holding capacity is high in this region, that means the plants can grow faster and faster, because the roots of the plants take water from the soil only. And which part of the soil? That is humus part of the soil. Okay. O horizon lies just above the top of the soil. Okay, just leave this sentence, because the layer of the soil we will discuss in next slide. Now we'll come to the portion subsoil. What is subsoil? We have discussed the soil, and now the very new term is subsoil. Subsoil is rich in minerals that sweep down along with the water. The subsoil is the layer which is very rich in minerals. So soil contains, what soil contains? Minerals and water also there inside. The various impurities and dust particles is also there. Okay, so there are many minerals present in the soil. So the subsoil is the layer that is very rich in the minerals that sweeps down along with the water, and these minerals swipes down along with the along with the water. Suppose in the area there is a soil, and you just go and dump lot if rain occurred, so the water is everywhere, and the minerals present inside the soil, that is called the subsoil. This rainwater will swap the minerals from one area to other area. Okay, it also consists of fine particles of the soil. In this area, fine particle of the soil is there. You can see this diagram. This is called the subsoil, which is very much rich in minerals and also contain the particles of the soil. Now, soil formation. How does the soil form? How does the soil form? So there are many steps in your syllabus. Three main steps are there from which a soil formation takes place. Okay, the soil is the particle which is not already made. It undergoes several steps in formation of soil. So the very first step we have is weathering, is the physical or chemical process. If you forget everything, the weathering, the keyword, you have to remember the keyword. If you know the keyword now, you can write any you can easily write in your exams. So never forget the keyword. Weathering of rocks means the breaking of very large particles, the breaking of rocks. So what is weathering? Weathering is which kind of process? Weathering is a physical or chemical process. Okay, why physical, why chemical? Physical means in this the breakdown of larger particles takes place, that is why physical. Okay, and chemical, after the physical process over, after the breakdown is over, now chemically some chemicals are used in preparation of that soil. If suppose very big part is there and it is not breaking up physically, so we will apply some chemical over it, and that chemical easily degrade that uh, very hard particles. Also, we use chemicals to remove the impurities from there. So what is weathering? Weathering is a physical or chemical process. So if anyone asked you weathering is physical process or a chemical process, it is a both. Now the second step is small rocks continue to undergo weathering, causing large piece of the parental rocks. Okay, so there are lot, the rocks are very heavy, like this, very large particles and very weighted particles are there. So first of all, what will happen? These rocks will break down. Okay, it will break down into large pieces first. Okay, and then these large pieces again break down into smaller pieces, and these smaller pieces again break down to even smaller pieces. And after that, these smaller pieces are crushed, and and these will convert into very uh, small powdered particles known as soil. So you might have seen that there are very large stones are also present in there. So why these stones are there? Because some rock particles do not degrade in the powder shape, it is remains as it is. So you can see the very not very much big, but small like a small portion of the rock stones and rock particles remains in the soil, okay, after the weathering. Now third is minerals and salts sweep deeper into the ground along with the water. So the soil rich in the minerals and water. How these soil rich in minerals and water? How these soil rich? Where these minerals comes from? What happened when the weathering, after the weathering takes place, all the rock particles are converted into very smaller pieces, and then also it is converted into very small powder to form soil. And in these rock particles minerals are already there, okay. You might have studied the chapter the metallurgy. That is the how metal extracted from these rocks only, and on the earth crust. So along with the metals they have many types of impurities, many types of minerals. Minerals are what? It is a naturally occurring substance that is naturally occur. No human beings have made minerals. It is natural occurring substances, okay. So these minerals can be found in the rocks. So when rock particles divided into finer particle soil, so minerals are also get decomposed in the soil, okay. And that mineral will present in the topmost layer of the soil, and when water falls into that topmost layer, that minerals will sweep down with the water to the underground portion, okay. So the three steps we have discussed here, that is weathering of rock. So simpler on brief, if somebody asks you how soil forms, so in brief, in only one sentence, the soil is formed from the weathering of rocks. Okay, what is weathering? Weathering is a physical and chemical process. In this process, smaller rocks particles continues to undergo the smaller and heavier rocks are break down into finer and finer particles to form the soil. This second is small rocks continues to undergo weathering. Smaller particles, until unless it is converted into very fine powdered form, it remains weathering remains continuous. Okay, causing large particles, parental rocks, and then minerals will soak down into the water. Okay, so yeah. Now moving to the next slide, the there are many layers of the soil. There are many layers of the soil. So just you see the soil. Soil is not only you see that you have seen the uppermost layer and the uh, in the ground. Suppose this is a ground, and this is the underground portion, and this is the portion where soil is there. Just make it a very colorful, if I'll green, no, brown color. Okay, so these are the soil, and in the soil, okay, now there will be trees. Make it with the green trees and many trees. Okay, so these are the soil portion. And these are the soil portion. You see this portion, and this is the topmost layer. It is called the humus. We have discussed humus. Why humus? Because all the dead and decaying part, if the leaves fall from this tree, it will be goes to the topmost layer, okay. And after some so later so many months and days, that leaves will also go underground after the decaying, but uh, earlier it will remains in this portion only. So there are many dead and decaying particles of the plants as well as the animals are there in the humus and makes us very fertile. So if anybody asks the which reason of the soil is very much fertile, that is a humus reason. The crops grow in the humus region only. Okay. Hmm. So we have discussed this. Yeah. So these are the layers of the soil. You can see one, two, three, four, five. Five layers are there. So first, it is divided into horizons. Horizon, and it is the horizon named by the alphabet, like O horizon. Okay. That that loose and partly decaying organic matter. Hmm? This horizon, and in this horizon very big particles also found, the rock particles also found in this horizon. It is called the O horizon. In this horizon, loose and partly decaying organic matter. Decaying organic matter, I have told you, the dead and decaying matter of the plants and animals. Then A horizon is humus region, and A horizon you can see, up to the A horizon you can see. You can't go inside the soil, na? The soil which is visible to you is the O origin, that is they have the loose and partly decaying organic matter. A origin, minerals matter mixed with some humus, and this is the humus only. And this A origin, there is a some humus as well as mineral matter. Okay. Then E origin, light colored zone of the leaching, this light color portion. Okay, this light color portion. And B horizon, that is accumulation of clay from above. So the above portion, above horizons particles is also mixed in this region. Obviously it will be not totally divided, some of the particles will mix into the other horizons also. Then C horizon, that is partially altered parent material. Okay, under parent material, that in this various big rocks also found. So the five horizons are O, A, E, B, C. O, A, E, B, C. थोड़ा सा some kind of reverse situation. First of all O, then A, and after A, B should be there, but instead of B, they have used E. So this is just a name, and the mainly you have to learn what are the matter present inside each horizon. So five horizons of the five layers of the soil divided into five horizons. The first horizon is O, in which dead and decaying organic matter is present. Then will come A horizon, in which mineral matters mixed with some humus. Okay, then E horizon, that is light colored zone of leaching. So it can be asked you separately, which horizon is zone of leaching? That is E horizon. Okay. Then B horizon, accumulation of clay from the above. In B horizon, in which layer clay is present? In B horizon. That is second last layer. Then C horizon is partially altered parent material. Parent material means from which these soil formed. So soil from the rocks. So in very lower level, that is C horizon, parent material, that is rock particles you can be visible. So these are the five levels. And we the soil profile, like topsoil with humus, this is the first layer. Then subsoil, we have discussed the sand and slit and clay, sand, slit and clay. And this bedrocks means the rock particles. Okay. So in your village, when somebody just if you dig soil, don't try. If you have ever visited, just ask your parents. In earlier days there was well in the we use underground water, and for that the people use the well. Okay, and when well is digged, so there are many uh, there are many portion of the soils are digged. So first the upper portion, then second portion, then a third portion, then fifth portion. In the very last portion, the rock particles are there. And after digging and digging, the underground water is very beneath. It's very beneath inside the soil. So for digging a well, it takes lot of energy and lot of time. So you can ask your parents, because in your time now, in villages also now, people don't use wells. They have hand pumps and everything. So you can ask your parents, and so they will tell you about the how wells formed. Now the types of soil. There are many types of soil. You can see in the picture the clay type soil. So first type is clay. The second is loamy soil. It's called the loam, or some it is called the loamy soil. Third is sand, and fourth is slit. So you might have visited all the clay. Where you have visited the clay? With the clay, we make toys. Clay can be molded in any shape. It is very good in touch. You feel very good, and it is very slippery. And you can make any toy from with the help of a clay. And in your childhood, I'm sure you have made some toys with that. Then loamy soil, the black colored soil, you can see the sand you have seen, and the slits and sand you might have seen along the roadside, you can see. Okay, sandy soil, basically in the coastal areas you can find the sandy soil. So the different types of soils will be there in different areas. You have heard about the Mars have red colored soil. So why the color of Mars is red? Sorry, soil. Why the color of Mars is red? Because everywhere the red colored soil is present. In various portion, like I will go to. I have not visited every area, but I know that in MP region or some region, red colored soil is found. And just try to know about the soil color and soil type in your area. Okay, now, yeah, soil properties. So we have discussed the four types of soil. Here three types of soil is there, and what is the properties of these soil. So we'll talk about the water holding capacity. The water holding capacity of the sand is very low. Sandy soil do not hold water very good. Okay, but slit can hold, it's a medium, and clay hold the water holding capacity is very high. That is why we can make toys from it, because with water we mold, first of all we prepare that clay with water, and we can mold that clay in any shape or portion. So water holding capacity is very high in the clay soil. Okay. Now drainage rate. Drainage rate is high in sand, slit low to medium, and clay is very low. Drainage rate means the sand will convert into the drainage uh, portion. It will, okay. So very high in sand. Cohesion between the particles means between the particles. Cohesion force means how far particles from each others, or how close the particles from each other. So in sand, cohesion between the particles is very low, and medium. Slit, everything is medium, and clay has very high. So this kind of thing can be asked in your exams. Organic material content, sand, no. Have you have seen that any trees, very few trees grow in the sandy soil, because they do not have water holding capacity, and organic material, that that sandy soil is not much fertile, so any plant or tree can be grow. So low, medium slit will be medium to high, and in clay it is medium to high. Obviously, the shrink and swell potential. The soil can shrink or swell up easily. So the in sandy soil it is low, in slit it is medium to high, and in clay it is higher. The clay soil can easily shrink, as well as it has very it can easily swell. No, okay, that's it. So we have discussed all the portion of the soil. Let's revise it quickly. Okay. So what is the soil? The uppermost layer of the earth is known as soil, and the layer consists of this layer consists of sand, mud, rocks, particles. Okay. What is humus? It is the uppermost layer of the soil. It consists of dead and decaying plants of the animals remain. Okay. Now in this layer also soft and water holding capacity is very high in this layer, and this layer is known as o horizon. Okay. Now subsoil, what is subsoil? Subsoil is rich mineral and sweeps down along with the water. Subsoil is very rich. So which portion of the soil is very rich in minerals? That is subsoil. It's very rich in minerals, and these minerals can be swept along with the water. It also consists the finer particle of the soil. Now soil formation, the soil, how soil forms, it takes 3 to 4 steps. The very first step is the weathering of the rocks. Weathering of the rocks means breaking down of the very high rocks into the finer particles, and it takes a lot many time in breaking down. The weathering is physical and chemical process. Small rock continues and to undergo weathering. The smaller portion, the very big portion will break down into smaller, and then smaller, and then smaller, and in the last it will convert into the finer particles in the powdered shape, that is called the soil. So weathering continues till the it will become very thin and finer particle until it continues weathering. Okay. Now third step, minerals, that is sweeps down uh, with the help of a water. Now various type, oh sorry, various soils are divided into 5 horizons. The very first horizon, the O horizon, that is a humus region. Then A horizon is mixed with the humus, and in this region organic materials and humus is there. Then is E horizon, that is light colored portion है, and in this the zone of leaching is the E horizon. A horizon is accumulation of clay. The clay soil can be found in the B horizon, and the C horizon is the partial, that is very big rocks can be found in the C horizon. It is also called as the bed rocks. Okay. Now, types of soil, it can be 4: clay soil, loamy soil, sand, and slit. And we have discussed the properties that few question can be asked like water holding capacity is very high in which type of soil? That is clay soil. Then the cohesion between the particles is very high in the clay, and the shrink and swell potential. Though out of these, any one or all four, yeah, it can also be asked like. Differentiate between all 3 or 4 types of soil on the basis of soil properties. So you will write down just like that only. You will write one side the properties, and other sides you divide, just made it like the table, just like in the ppt. So I hope this chapter is very much easy. Only the conceptual and only the theoretical portion is there, and I have given you one homework kind of thing that you have to collect the information of the type of the soil in your area. Okay, which type of soil? Just go and visit that. Go and watch the type of the soil, just take it in your hand, just feel it, and if if possible just collect information. Okay. So that's it for this chapter. Now we'll continue with the next topic. So our next topic is respiration. Respiration in animals and the plants. What you are sitting, you are taking the class. How is it possible that you are taking class? What make what what made you to attend this class? How you're sitting? If you're playing, if you're going, if you're walking, you're attending the class, you're speaking. How you can able to perform these activity? I'm asking you in the concept of biology. You can you can perform these activities with the help of energy, the energy that is stored in your body. Okay, if there's a no energy in your body, you can't sit and attend the class, you can't speak, you cannot walk, you cannot run, you cannot play. So everything, the small to big activities you perform daily and daily, just due to the energy stored in your body. How these energy came from? Where does these energy came from? Obviously you eat food now, that the food give you energy. Okay, the food provide you energy, but how? You ate the food go inside your stomach and it get digested. Okay, so after that energy is formed. Is that this is this process that much simple, or any other processes has also taken place? Okay, so the next topic is respiration. So energy can be formed. The food that you eat is converted into full energy that provide you to stamina for doing work, is with the help of the process known as respiration. Okay, which process? Respiration. So we'll discuss about the respiration. So it is the 10th chapter of your NCRT syllabus, that is respiration in organism. So respiration is basically the energy. This is which system? Respiration takes place with the help of respiratory system. And what is this? It is a something. It is what? It is an organ system. So this group of cell forms the tissue, the group of tissue forms the organs, and the group of organs from the organ system. And there are various types of organ system are there, which perform different kinds of function. Like digestive system will perform the function of digestion, excretory system perform the function of excretion, as well as respiratory system will perform the process of respiration. So this is what? Respiratory system. First of all, this question arises: why do we respire? What is the need of respiration actually? If we do not respire, then what will happen? So I have told you that even a smaller activity, if you are going to even a small activity, if you are just want to sit, it also need energy. If you want to just speak few words, it also needs energy. So even a very small activity to a very high activity, we need energy. And these energy comes from the food we eat. And there's a process that convert your food into the energy. The food you eat will convert it into energy by a simple process known as respiration. So, in the simple word, in the brief, if you want, if anybody asked you, that why do we respire, or why respiration is so much important, because it converts our food into the energy, and because of this energy we can perform the various activities in our daily life, right? So the very first thing comes the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, the respiration takes place in every cells. I have told you that cells are the building blocks of all living animals and the plants. And these cells, in these cells, in each and every cells, respiration takes place. That food you eat now will assimilate to go to each and every cell, and in that cell it will convert into the energy. So each and every cell gives you energy. So that is why it is called the cellular respiration. The process of breakdown of food into the cell, where this breakdown of food takes place inside the cell, with the release of energy, release of energy, with the release of energy. Okay, so yeah, we eat. Okay, now I will explain a little. You eat food, that food go to the stomach, and in the digestive system, actually, stomach, then small intestine, then large intestine, and in these area your food get digested. Digested means that the very large particles will convert into, break down into the finer and very small particles. Okay, after that it will converts into the end products, that is very fine products, and it will go inside. The food will gets absorbed and it will assimilate means that it will move to each and every cell of your body. There are millions and trillions of the cells in your body, and in each and every cell the food you eat now, that goes there. Okay, and after that these food are converted into energy within these cells, and that is why it is known as cellular respiration. Okay. Now there are two types of respiration. That is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. If an word, an word is there, it means absence of something. Aerobic means in presence of oxygen, where oxygen is present. That is aerobic. Okay, in this process glucose will give you carbon dioxide, water and energy. What is glucose? The food we eat now will convert into the glucose. Okay, and after the aerobic respiration, this will convert into the carbon dioxide that we exhale. Okay, that we exhale, water and energy that is required in the performance of activity. Simple. The next is anaerobic, means an means absence of oxygen. In this type of respiration, oxygen is not necessary. It takes place in the absence of oxygen, without oxygen. And anaerobic respiration takes place in the microorganisms like yeast. Okay, glucose, microorganisms also eat food now. So whatever kind of food they eat, it also get converted into glucose. Glucose is what? Glucose is a carbohydrate that will give you energy. So it will convert into the glucose, and that glucose will convert into alcohol. When oxygen will involved, it will convert into carbon dioxide. When oxygen will not there, it will convert into the alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Okay, so when oxygen is there, carbon dioxide, water and energy. When carbon dioxide is when oxygen is there, glucose will convert into carbon dioxide, water and energy. If oxygen is not there, glucose will convert into alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. So tell me now, out of these two respiration, Which kind of respiration in human beings? It will be aerobic or anaerobic? Obviously, it is aerobic. What you inhale? You inhale oxygen. So, in our respiration, oxygen involved. That is why the glucose, the food we eat, it will convert into glucose. When oxygen, when we inhale oxygen, that oxygen will convert the glucose into carbon dioxide that will exhale out, plus water that is remains inside our body, and energy that is remains inside each and every cell, and that gives us energy to perform the various activities. So, okay. Now let's discuss this with the help of a diagram. This is this. This is your complete respiratory system, and in this complete respiratory system, various organs involved. So first sensory organ is your nose. Okay, nose, and inside the nose there's a nasal cavity. Inside the nose, nasal cavity, that is a cavity means hole. Okay, so these hole will inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale of the gases, or you can see simply exchange of gases. Nasal cavity. Okay, then nostril, these two portion, nostril, then oral cavity, then larynx. Okay, larynx me after that, then this trachea, and this is your lungs, the very important portion. And it is parted into two, that is right portion and left portion. And in this portion the bronchi are there, bronchus. Bronchi are very it is a gaseous, you can see gaseous bags. Inside these bronchioles gases are filled. Okay, so at your level, at your syllabus, only the main portion has explains. The very deeper portion has not explained. The very deeper portion will in your higher class, like in 10th or 11th, 12th, right? So right lungs and left lungs, and there's a left primary bronchus. It is a air sacs in which air is there present, and this is a diaphragm. Diaphragm helps in inhaling and exhaling. So how you can feel while you inhale or exhale, just keep your palm above your chest or a stomach. When you inhale now, when you inhale or exhale, you can feel that your chest portion is rises up and goes back, rises up and goes back. So with the help of this diaphragm, the lungs lifted and down, lifted and down. Okay, so I have told you this. So first of all, what happened with the nasal cavity, with the nostril? Air goes. Which air? Oxygen, obviously. You inhale oxygen. Okay, and it oxygen will go inside, and then it will go through trachea, then larynx. Sorry, the pharynx and the trachea. The larynx portion is the sound box. We are speaking now, the sound box. Okay, after that it will move to the right main bronchi and left main bronchiole, that is air sacs. I have told you, these air sacs, the oxygen will filled in these air sacs. Okay, then it will go, and these air sacs will present in the right lungs and the left lungs. Okay, after that you will exhale exhale what? CO2. So we will discuss about the cellular respiration. And there's a very important things present. What is difference between breathing and respiration? Is breathing or respiration is same? No. Respiration and breathing is two different process. Yeah, respiration involves breathing. Breathing is one process under the respiration, but breathing and respiration is not same. So many students, what they do, if anybody asks them what is respiration, they will explain the definition of breathing, that inhale and exhale, that is exchange of gases, is respiration. No, it is wrong. It is breathing. The inhaling and exhaling of gases or exchange of gases is breathing, not respiration. Okay. So I will explain the whole process. Before this, just take the some difference point of between the respiration and breathing. Respiration is release of energy at the end. In respiration, the release of energy takes place. Breathing, no energy. It is only inhale and exhale. It is the intracellular process. Intracellular means, intra means inside. Respiration takes place inside the cells. On the other hand, breathing is extracellular process. Breathing do not takes place inside the cell. Okay. It is biochemical process involving the breakdown of food. It is a biochemical process. Breathing is a physical process. How physical? Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So that diaphragm lift the lungs up and lift the lungs down. So it is a physical process totally. But respiration is a biochemical. Biochemical means that it will break down when food will break down into glucose. The after that it is a chemical process. That is a chemical reaction. It will convert into CO2 plus water plus energy, and this energy is called the ATP. So if anybody asked you what is ATP, ATP is the energy currency. Just like you have the rupees, you have the notes. Okay, so just like energy currency inside our body is ATP. There are other than human beings, every organisms, including microorganisms, plants, animals, dog, cows, everybody undergo respiration. Okay, and what cellular respiration? So what actually takes place? I have told you na, the respiration biochemical process, that biology is also involved. Biology means that it is undergoing in our body. That is why biology. And inside our body, chemical reaction goes, and that is why the biochemical. So what happened, I will tell you what is actually happening. You take food, food goes through the digestive system. In digestive system, it will get digested and will convert into the glucose. Okay, okay. And glucose, after the glucose, this glucose will move to each and every cell, each cell. Okay, and after that, this is the portion of digestive system. Now the respiratory system function starts. You inhale, you inhale oxygen. Okay, that oxygen moves down the nostril, then trachea, then pharynx, then bronchioles, lungs. And in the lungs, oxygen, oxygen, and from the lungs it will go into each cell. The oxygen goes to each cell. Now in each cell glucose is there, and in each cell oxygen is there. Which type of respiration both will form? That is aerobic, in presence of oxygen. So now after that, what will happen? Glucose was there inside the cell, and now oxygen is also came. Now there will be a chemical reaction takes place. When glucose will mix with the oxygen, glucose formula is C6H12O6 and oxygen. It will give you carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. The energy in the form of ATP. And each and every cell will produce energy. That energy combinedly with these energy you can perform various activities. Okay, so I hope you get the process of respiration. It is very simpler. So in this diagram you see the breathing, that is oxygen in, CO2 out. Okay, now from the lungs, this is a cell, and inside the cell there's a mitochondria. It is a cell organelle. Inside the cell many cell organelles is there, and one cell organelle is mitochondria, that is called the powerhouse of the cell. It is called the powerhouse of the cell. So all the glucose and oxygen both move to the mitochondria, and here the cellular respiration takes place. The chemical reaction goes on. Which type of chemical reaction? This chemical reaction we have discussed. This chemical reaction, and this will gives you ATP. So ATP released inside the cell, and if somebody asked which cell organelle, the specific cell organelle is mitochondria. Okay, so this type of cell. Okay, now yeah, every organism undergoes cell. Now the difference between aerobic and anaerobic. So aerobic means the oxygen involved. Oxygen do not involve. So the chemical reaction for aerobic is glucose will convert into CO2, water and energy, and in anaerobic, glucose will convert into alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. Okay. In aerobic respiration, large amount of energy is released. Very large amount of energy is released, but in anaerobic, very small amount of energy. So anaerobic takes place in the microorganism. Very small, very small amount. So they do not require the very large amount of energy. Very small amount of energy they is sufficient for them. Okay. So very large amount of energy, we require very large amount of energy. The plants and the we animals. Okay. So aerobic respiration is there in the in human beings, in other animals, and anaerobic respiration takes place in the microorganisms. The end product of aerobic respiration, what is the end product of aerobic respiration? Carbon dioxide, water, energy. So energy will release in both the cases, but the carbon dioxide and water. And in anaerobic, alcohol is there. Alcohol, also a lactic acid is there. Lactic acid. It occurs in large, like humans. It occurs in the smaller, like microorganism. The very good example of microorganism, that is your bacteria, viruses, coronavirus. So yeah. So in this session, we have completed the two very interesting topics of your science NCERT, that is soil and the respiration. And I hope these two topics are now cleared from my side. If anything there's to ask, if anything you not got, just you can ask simply. Okay, one thing more, you need to practice the diagram, because in your exam, the when large question of 3 to 5 marks will ask, you need to draw the diagram, and also you need to draw the diagram of this various horizons of the soil. Okay, now that's it for today. I have one quiz for you. The quiz will be covered both the portion, and you have to solve this quiz, and so that you can check yourself that every topic you got, the concept of each and every topic is cleared or not. Okay, so that's it for today. In the next session, we will meet with again with new topics. That is the preceding portion of your NCERT syllabus only. Till now, take care. Bye. Good night.